Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, May 23rd. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. So, two things that were accomplished today. We are firmly down now on the daily and NQ, and ES has put the weekly back to balance, a 2-week balance. There was a potential for an outside week down, but it did not come into play. I'll recap all of these charts today, see where we stand. Righty ends with a very nice P shape and an afternoon pullback in F. NQ ends with a pullback in F. ES ends with a pullback in F. We hold our weekly gap in ES, even though we got into it. NQ didn't get anywhere near that gap, but they held today's gap. We all gapped lower. Righty took theirs back fairly quick. ES took theirs back in J. NQ could not take theirs back. It almost seemed for a while there the bulls would look for a gap of that magnitude. It was $7. ES filled it. NQ almost did. We never saw the opening after the opening. So once again, you know what I'm going to say. How do you think the gap and go crowd did? They got crushed. It felt, if you didn't know that, if you were just looking at the profile and not against yesterday's value or what the indices were doing, you would think this market was just a real bull market today for them until they wiped out longs in L&M. My trades were all from the long side. Took one small short in M period. But everything was basically from the long side. Unfortunately, I missed. I was so patient, yet I missed two of my favorite plays. The first one, I didn't do anything in A. There was a lot of chop. I'm like, I want a better picture to form. We don't know if it's the market's just getting somewhat of an inventory adjustment, things of that nature. But I would have crushed it if I had gotten A's high. I clicked with a 5 lot, and I thought I got in, did not, must have gone up above where I clicked, and I missed it. Very frustrating. So I didn't do anything until C and D, where I did a couple of small ebb and flow longs in C and D against the 144, made small on those. Then I didn't do anything in the G period. I missed, I'm sorry. Yeah, G, I took a couple of longs on ebb and flow. I did finally get the new daily high today when H took out E, so that was nice, and a couple of ebb and flow longs. I period with the single prints I bought small. J period I took longs against both the 144 and the single print fill, which got paid the first time. And then, like I said, in M period I took one short at it. When it first opened, it ran up pretty good and just took a short for about 7-8 points. So it was an okay day, but very frustrating a day, especially missing the trade in B period to take out A's high. Now, also E, missed the IB high. As I was sitting there patiently, we were in a 1-minute balance. I went to go look at the 1-minute chart to see what the top of the balance was. I'm like, if we get above that, I want to be long. And as soon as I came back, it had taken it. So I missed it. So that one was totally my fault. The one missing A's high, I still don't know how I missed it. But that probably would have been 100 points. Probably would have been, because the way they ripped up there, if I had taken a 5 lot, probably would have gotten 20 points out of it. It would have been 100 points. So that's, it's $4,000. I'm sorry, $2,000. You hate to miss that type of trade. But what are you going to do? So that was all my trading. Again, remember the market is closed Monday. I know the futures are open half day. That's all overnight for me. Anything starting now with the maintenance session through Tuesday morning up till 9:30 is all going to be overnight for me. Okay? Let's break down these charts. See what's happening here as May is quickly coming towards its end. It's amazing how fast time flies. So IWM is in a 3-month balance. Okay? March, April, May. That's what I would call their balance. Again, we're still holding a very, very nice excess and buy tail on April's monthly. The weekly is balance. Okay? It was up with the gap last week, took back the gap, took out last week's low, it's balance. I would call it a 2-week balance. I would use last week's high as the high. I would use this week's low as the low. If you take out this week's low, I would call it down. So right now, monthly is balance, 3 months. Weekly is a 2-week balance. The daily is down. Daily is one time framing down for 3 days. And the gap from Wednesday is your main focus. Look at how they balance, right? We talk about the market went, look at this. It's such a beautiful example of balance, bull, balance, bear. So you took these gaps back, leave this one from Wednesday. So monthly balance, weekly balance, and the daily is down. NQ. Right now, NQ is a 3-month balance. But if we keep pushing higher, I might incorporate the all-time high. Right? This month's high is 523. The all-time high is 540. So it's still 17, 18 from its high. So I'd probably call this a 3-month balance right now. But we still have another week to go. So we'll see. So it's balanced, 3 months. The weekly is up. They didn't take out last week's low. ES not only took it out, they had a potential outside week down, but they held it off. So NQ, yeah, they didn't get a lot of extension above last week's high, but it's up. And they're still holding their weekly gap. They're one-time framing up for 4 weeks. Okay? So the weekly is still pretty healthy here in NQ. And the daily is down finally. Remember, I was keeping it in balance. You had so many outside days, up, down, inside days, you name it. Now we're down. And the gap is our main focus. We still have the gap from today. And then you have the gap from all the way down here. So the daily is down. So monthly balance, weekly up, daily down. Now the S&P. 3-month balance. We haven't taken out March's high. Right? Oh, wait a second. Did we take it out? We took it out in SPY, right? Not in ES. But it's regardless, it's a 3-month balance. Still very healthy excess from April. The weekly is now a 2-week balance, with this week's high and low being the entire balance, because we took out last week's high and low, but we closed inside. So it's a firm 2-week balance. How are we going to come out of that? We'll see. Remember, I said I don't mind coming back and testing the 200. Well, watch. First of all, before we do that, let's look at SPY first, and then we'll go back triple Qs for the 200. So the weekly is balanced. So here we go now on the daily. The daily is down. Remember when we were going up, I said I think it would be healthier to get a pullback, potentially test the 200, and then form a bigger balance, and then come out of that up. I didn't know if we were going to do it or not because we kept grinding higher. Well, for now, yes, the daily is down, but that doesn't mean the end of the world. We literally, I think, just touched the 200-day moving average today in the opening and then closed above it. Again, one day does not make a market. We closed a little over $3 above it. That means nothing to me. What's going to mean to me is what we talk about, acceptance. So are we going to hold this now, take out today's high and come back into a balance and then slowly work our way back up and then come out of this whole big balance? It'll be a big balance and then go back to the highs? Or are we going to fail and start getting acceptance below the 200 and the all-time high holds? Right now, it is a lot of indecision. Your monthly and weekly are in balance, and the daily's down. So anybody can say, hey, I think this is going to happen or that's going to happen. I do like the buy tail on the monthly in April. So that's a big plus for the bulls. I will certainly like it a lot more if we don't get below this 200 and for a bunch of days again. So I don't care if we test it a couple of times, but if we are going to truly have a stronger market going forward, we want to balance here, shake out the rest of the week longs, and then come out of it stronger to go to an all-time high. Otherwise, we take out the 200 and start getting acceptance, game over, at least for a bit, for a pretty good while, I would think. So that's what we have to look forward to starting next week. So the monthly and weekly are balance, 3 months, 2 weeks, and the daily is down. Hope this helps breaking it down, gives you a little clarity. What we're looking at, even though we're day traders, this stuff is very important as we look at the charts. Volume is above our, oh, this is what I wanted to show you before we go. Triple Qs, nowhere near the 200 yet. It's at 494.18. So it's still $15 above it. So that's very healthy right now. Okay? What was the other thing? I was about to say something else and I totally forgot I think it was on the monthly. I don't know. Well, anyway, I hope you guys and gals, oh, I know what I was going to say. It was not an easy week to trade. The MGI was really, really mixed. Today I ended up 3-3. You know, to put it in context, the Bulls have controlled the month of May for the most part, right? They really have. But prior to May, ES and NQ only had 2 days where our checklist sheet was tied. 2 days out of 4 months. The month of May has had 3 for each of us. So even though the Bulls have done a pretty good job this month, right? And you can see it with the inside days, outside days up, and all that type of stuff, how emotional the market's been, and on how some of the days where you've given back. Remember, we started out 3-0 today for the Bears. That's all they ever had all day, basically. The gap value in the indices. Now, ES filled their gap. So, you know, pretty amazing. It's been tough, but hopefully you all survived. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. And we'll speak prior to the opening on Tuesday.